Are we going to do this chronologically?
Well,
yeah. Who played the first? Who played?
What is the best approach to take? I played like maybe an hour of Final Fantasy Adventure.
That's about what I played.
The first time I ever played it actually was, I didn't own a Game Boy back in the day. So the first time I ever played it was when I first discovered ROMs.
Yeah, that's about the way I did.
About 1996 or so, and I downloaded a copy of it. And it was German, so it starts out Achtung. I'm like, what? So yeah, I
played that. I played Adventure and the other one, Final Fantasy something or other on GBA.
Final Fantasy Legend.
Yeah, that was the one. And I loved Adventure just because it wasn't a fucking Saga game.
Yeah, Final Fantasy Legend is actually Saga.
Yeah.
So.
Although they are kind of joined at the hip by the presence of Akitoshi Kawazu, who directed Legend of Mana. But we'll get to that later because that comes into the dark era of Mana.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I know you like Legend of Mana, but I think it has problems.
Well, the GBA game was remade.
You mean the Game Boy? Yeah, Sword of Mana was the remake of Final Fantasy Adventure, and
well, you played both. I don't know.
Yeah, I just thought the original was a lot more charming, and like the dialogue was really cute and not that well done, but
that wasn't well done at all.
No,
but it was fun.
In fact,
it was minimal enough that it didn't matter.
And it's like just enough to get the point across. But like you go to a town and they're like, "Oh, some evil guys in that castle. I hate it." And you're like, "Rock on, go townsperson." You know, like
it was an example of one of the most neutered text. In one of the in the Nintendo censorship days. I mean, if you look in the instruction manual, like this game opens where you're fighting as a gladiator, and the king tells you in the instruction manual, and the photo says like, "Show me the glory of agony and pain" or whatever. But when you play the actual game, it just says, "Now fight."
Yeah, it's like fight, and you start off as a gladiator. And in the remake, it's so chatty.
Well, yeah,
so it just goes on and on. You're like, wait, I thought I was supposed to be this guy fighting.
The remake suffers from modern square-itis, where everything has to be very dramatic and angsty. And I think our good friend Nick Marigo summed it up best by saying, this is the only game that's ever had the audacity to give you an enemy named Dark Lord and then spend half an hour hand-wringing about whether or not he's actually evil with the name Dark Lord. I wonder.
That sounds morally ambiguous.
Yeah. Maybe it's just dark like he likes nighttime. Maybe it's
he's just misunderstood.
Dark like dark chocolate.
Right.
Delicious.
He's just less milky than the rest of us.
The other thing about Sword of Mana, though, is that it takes like elements from all the games that had come since the original one and try to mash them in there. So they have these really tedious ring menus that are just like circles of hell. Because
and then there's all the item forging.
It's just further down into like 5 sets of rings to get at one
there's
little
item forging, and to forge items you also have to do the planting and like raise seeds and fruits and stuff.
Yeah.
Those were never fun.
And it's like the worst part of Legend of Mana, where you had
I had an ex who was like really obsessive compulsive, and she loved that shit. Didn't really play the rest of the game.
I mean,
so if you're insane, it's great.
Right, there are people who want to have like perfect Pokemon teams. They'll get all 500 Pokemon and then go out and breed them for the ideal type and stuff. That's the same kind of person that these things appeal to. But normal people,
that's generally not why I play those games. I don't want a garden.
Right, exactly.
I have Natsumi games for that.
I've got Pikmin for that
I don't play.
Well, but let's talk about.
Well, why don't we first explain just what the Mana series is? Okay. So, anyone want to jump in, or should I do it myself?
There's a tree.
That's pretty much it. A tree and that's a holy sword
and
a
rabbit
bunch of
things.
Spirits.
Yeah, there's 8
spirits are always the same.
Okay,
there's always a stupid fucking
so
rabbit.
It's an action RPG series.
And Watts and Compton.
Yeah, there's been lots of things kind of retrofitted. I guess Secret of Mana, in my mind, is sort of the definitive Mana game.
Agreed.
I think it is in most Americans' minds because that's the one that we got.
That's the one we got.
Yeah.
Now, that one actually started life as a CD game, didn't it?
That is what I've heard. That is what I read in Nintendo Power, so I'm willing to believe
That's why I had like a really high screen resolution mode compared to most Super Nintendo
It did have
games.
the high-res menu system, or like the menu screen. And it was also very glitchy, apparently, because there were chunks of the game that they had to remove. Apparently, the story seems kind of incomplete because there were going to be
there's going to be a ton more.
Yeah, there were going to be animated, like hand-drawn cartoon cinemas and stuff.
I'm glad that's not just me, because
that's totally why that is.
Did not make any sense.
And that's why the translation is not great, because Ted Woolsey was working on it.
Right.
Well,
he had like a month or something, didn't he?
Yeah, no.
6 weeks, and Ted Woolsey had to translate the game within 6 weeks.
Wow.
As they were developing the game. So, like, the Japanese script was still a work in progress as he was translating. Right. And that was back before they had, modern computerized systems. And so he was kind of, like, working with big stacks of paper and trying to keep it